So we will record again. So hi everyone, this is Saman Fatima. I am part of BBWIC Foundation as the global lead, and as part of this session today, I would be drawing up the first half of the session, where I'd be covering more about what is the foundation about, and obviously talking about what is Hacker Summer Camp. If a lot of you don't know about it, what is it, when does it happen, what are the conferences that are part of the Hacker Summer Camp 2023, and then eventually I'll cover the first two conferences, that is the BlackHat and Diana initiative. And then I'll pass it on to Aastha. She'll be covering BSides, Vegas, and Defcon. And then eventually, we know there are a lot of questions for people who are traveling and want to know more about the accommodations and what does the conferences actually provide. So we have all that curated for you in form of links and resources. And then we'd be talking about people who are actually flying from different countries apart from United States of America. What are the visa requirements and what are the other things that needs to go in the process that you can do beforehand and be part of it in August. And at last, we'll open up for more questions from the audience, and we'd be happy to answer most of them. So when we talk about breaking barriers, women in cybersecurity foundation, we started up in 2021, and now we're going really, really strong with a lot of women being part of uh, the community, and we are playing a good role in helping many of them to actually be part of conferences as volunteers or as leaders, as speakers, and also working more towards training development and other things as well, because we really want a change in this particular field by us being part of it majorly. So if you are yet not part of our foundation, please go on to our website. The link would be shared shortly in the chat section, and you can just scroll down and click on join us, and there is a registration form that looks like this, and you can enter all your details and be part of the community. And then eventually you'll get the next step soon. How can you be part of the different platforms that we use for our conversations and sharing a lot of our resources, and be part of these conferences as a member in the future. Apart from that, we're also very active on different social media platforms as well, where you could follow us and also, know more about what are our next events that we're planning, because we really, really aspire to go together, because we really feel that we're powerful when we actually go together and we break those barriers. So you can hit on the website, you can either take a screenshot of this particular page, or if you are handy with your QR code scanners, you can actually go ahead. I'll give like 5 seconds stop here, and you can take you can scan the QR code and go to the website, join us, and play around with all what we have done and what we'll do in the future. So giving you 5 seconds to actually scan the QR code. Okay, so if not, the links would be shared in the chat section, so don't worry, we'd be sharing that more. Moving ahead with the agenda of, but before moving there, we have actually introduced us separately as well, but I'll go ahead and Astha would take that stand when she would be doing her presentation part. So hi, I am Saman Fatima. I am the global lead of BBWIC Foundation. Currently, I am in United States. I am pursuing my master's in information system, and I've been part of the communities for a lot of years. And yes, I was part of BBWIC when we started up in 2021. And Astha is also, she started up with BBWIC Foundation. She's right now with Microsoft, and really, really a great resource for all of you to actually scan these LinkedIn headshots, and you can actually connect with us as well. So just a 2 second stop here as well. And everyone, you can just go ahead and scan the QR code. Okay, then we're done with the logistics part. We're done who we are, and what we do. Now we'll actually kick off the one thing that everyone is here for, to know about what is Hacker Summer Camp and what does it comprise of and what actually happens here. So with that being said, the onset of of summer, we have back to back a lot of conferences. So, four of the major ones that we would be discussing here, they are the most famous here, where you will meet a lot of cybersecurity professionals. You get to network a lot, and you actually understand the concept, the flow, and how does actually cybersecurity happens. And these all conferences happen at the Vegas Strip. They happen at the very start of the month of August, and you would hear a lot of sessions. You would meet a lot of people that you actually follow up on different topics of cybersecurities, and you would really want to creatively know them, know what they're working on, and yes, be part of these conferences in one or the different way, as a scholarship a recipient, or maybe as a volunteer, or as a speaker, or just as an attendee. So there could be different ways you can part of these conferences, and we would be talking more about that. So that is what we call as Hacker Summer Camp, where there is a collection of conferences happening on different days. So the very famous, and I guess most of you must have heard about BlackHat. So BlackHat happens in different regions. We have it in Asia as well. We have it in Europe as well. And the next in line that we have is BlackHat USA. This is happening in person as well, plus it's virtual as well. It will happen from August 5th to August 10 of this particular month, that is August 2023. And it's a very, very major conference where you have a lot of InfoSec professionals that actually play a key part in telling you and in letting you know about a lot of things about cybersecurity, any new vulnerabilities, any new tools that have come out, any new CVs, anything that could come up. You could get a lot out of BlackHat, and BlackHat is really reputed in terms of years where you meet up with a lot of people and network with them. uh, we have encapsulated in this presentation a lot of links that we'd be sharing on and off in the chat section. So keep a track on that. So this is one of the link, that is the BlackHat major link, where you would be able to see what are the different offerings they have and everything. And the next thing is, I know with BlackHat, with the tickets and everything, the very major question a lot of people would have on the finances part, that how can we be part of it, because the tickets are so expensive on the flow. So there are two ways that you can be part of it. Either your organization you're working with reimburses that, that is one of the route you can take, or otherwise we would be sharing more links in the next slide, which I'd be talking about. So if your organization can reimburse that, that's the best case scenario. If not, we'd be walking down that through. Unfortunately, the call for papers for BlackHat USA is now closed. So if most of you have applied for it, you would be hearing about your results soon. If not, I would really want, like, you could be part of it as an attendee, volunteer, or scholarship recipient, and probably submit more next year by knowing what is actually the platform and how and what is the level that you have to put across the paper. So here, that's the most interesting part. So if we have any students in the call right now who are attending from anywhere, and you're a student, be it a bachelor students, a master's, or a PhD student, you can actually go through this link. That is a student scholarship program they have. And with that link, you can fill the form and submit your details, and probably wait if you could get that student scholarship to be part of BlackHat. Apart from that, if we have any veterans right now attending the session, you could actually click the link. Asta would be sharing that in the chat section, and you can fill that up and be part of that. So these are the two major programs that they're running across, and the dates are coming to a close. So probably fill it ASAP if there are any students or if there are any veterans with that. Next is a very important thing. A lot of people actually want to volunteer at these conferences, because we understand the essence of being volunteers, that you get to be part of the conference, but yes, you get to network, you get to know what actually happens there. And this is like the best case scenario to be part of these conferences. So that's the link for BlackHat volunteer. You can fill that form and wait for more details to follow from the conference folks to be part of the conference as a volunteer. The last thing is Black Hat Conference Associate. A lot of people actually mistakenly consider volunteerism and conference associate to be the same. So we've just attached a screenshot on the right hand side. That is the 2022 Conference Associate form, where actually you fill out a form to be part of the conferences. You are not technically a volunteer, but yes, you are assigned with some of the other duties as part of the conference, and you be part of it. You do those duties, and yes, attend the conference as well. So that is not yet out. The same link that has been shared for volunteerism, if you just scroll down, you'll see a heading for Black Hat Conference Associate. So probably track that site more often to the near of the conference, and you would have more details regarding it, and you can fill it out and be part of the conference. As a first hand experience by me and Astha, we did have seen and we have ourselves filled it out for the past year, and that really works. You get to be part of Black Hat, and that is something not being called as a volunteer, but yes, as a conference associate, you get to attend the conference firsthand. So I guess all the links are there in the chat section. Great. So with that, we close down to Black Hat USA. Major links have been shared to you. Just explore and actually fill up those programs as per what sections you fill into. The next is the very famous Diana initiative, and I know a lot of you would have heard that Diana would be running the conference in person, not virtual, and it would be just for one day. They have reduced it from 2 to 1 day. That is just on August 7, 2023. And it's a diversity driven conference, and that really helps a lot of underrepresented people in information security to be part of it. And they have a lot of speaker tracks and villages with hands-on workshops and everything. We ourselves have submitted a topic in Diana Initiative, and we're waiting for our results as well. And with that being said, before moving to the CFPs and everything, I really wanted to talk more about the theme that Diana Initiative has for this year. They opened it up a while back for the crowd to actually put up a theme for them, and whoever's theme they would like, they would take that forward. So the theme that you see it here, Lead the Change, was actually given by Astha, and that is the theme that got selected. And with that, obviously, if your theme gets selected for the conference, you get perks for it. She has gotten that as well. So that's like amazing, that I'm really proud to say that the theme that Diana Initiative is holding is by Astha this year. And that's great. That really has an essence to it, that lead the change, and we really want to do that as well. So with that being said, that's the link to Diana Initiative's website. And with that, there are a lot of volunteer opportunities as well that you can do for free and be part of the conference as a volunteer. So shortly, Astha would be sharing that in the chat section. Apart from that, call for presentations round one is closed for Diana Initiative, but we have the round two still on, which is open till 29th May. So if you have any of the topics that you would want to present, please go ahead and fill up your CFP and submit it to them, so that if your paper gets selected, you would be part of Diana Initiative firsthand. So please note that for Diana Initiative, the CFP is open till end of this month, that is 29th May, and probably submit that and use the opportunity to the best. Unfortunately, there was a scholarship that Diana Initiative had with couple of non-profit organizations, and the last date for it was April 30th, and that's closed for now. But hopefully, the other opportunities are open for all of you to be part of Diana as a volunteer or as a speaker. So I would really, really emphasize on you all to visit those links and fill it out and see how can you be part of Diana Initiative. Okay, with that, we move to the second half, and I'll have Astha here.
Okay, everyone. So let me get started with the second half. Someone I would ask you to move the slides. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so coming to B sides. Oh, That's besides LV is one of the most, or I would say best experiences with the besides class. Besides Las Vegas happens this year on August 8th and 9th. And at the same time, one of the best things again about besides is call for paper is closed. However, their call for volunteers is still open. Now, one of the reasons why Saman and I, why we are focusing a lot on volunteer and scholarships is scholarship becomes an advantage because you get a lot of things covered in scholarship. But however, let's say you're a working professional, you want to make it to the conference, and it's expensive. It is definitely expensive for anyone who's staying in Vegas for like 5 days. So coming to that point, these volunteer opportunities, they really help you to at least get, like, for example, I can share my personal experience with RSA this year. So I was with RSA as a volunteer. I was the room host moderator. You got all, like, literally your breakfast lunch covered. You get a full conference pass. You can attend a lot of networking events. So same is with besides LV as well. Though their call for papers is closed, you can definitely go to their website. They have provided an email where you can reach out for volunteership, or it's kind of like you have to subscribe to a mailing list or reaching out to an email. However, the best thing is that you can submit for it. And of course, it happens 2 days again in tandem with the other two conferences, but you can definitely apply for them and be there. It's a very good conference. They have some amazing themes. I'm not sure if you have heard about them, but they have themes like ground floor and kind of first floor kind of themes. They have divided their sessions into three different parts in the form of a physical building visualization, where they give opportunity, like for future as well, you can think about it, where they give you opportunity to submit the, like, any type of sessions, because when they have divided their categories so wonderfully, if you have a topic which covers, let's say, a beginning of a technical session, they have a ground floor session for that. And as you go up in the technicalities, if you someone has shared the link in the chat, you will see a lot of these things where you can submit higher technical sessions. So bifurcation is there. I know many time people are struggling with, like, I want to submit this session, but it might not be as technical, but it's very, very important. Many times we need repetition. Repetition is a key. We need sessions which reinforce security best practices. They reinforce what are the best way to create certain security programs. So definitely for future, I would say submit your CFP if you have not submit before, but volunteer opportunities are still open. August is still, I would say, not very near. We still have couple of months. So yeah, you can apply, you can go to their website, and they have some great volunteer opportunities too. So my next slide, please. The next one we have is Defcon. As famous Black Hat is, so is Defcon. Hacker Summer Camp is incomplete with Defcon. Defcon has a, like, all the conferences that we have discussed till now. It's slightly different because they have highly technical sessions. They have some of amazing themes. They have volunteer programs, and the fun, like, the good thing and the fun thing about Defcon is that. The volunteers are called goons, and you got some great swags. And one of the best things I would say about volunteer is, I saw someone putting in the chat as well, RSA was wonderful this year. It was amazing. And being a volunteer, oh my god, the swags you get and the opportunities to network. One of the best things I would again emphasize here is someone has also shared a link for getting involved with Defcon. So a great fact about these volunteer opportunities is this year when I was in RSA, I knew, let's say, 20 people's coming to the conference. I made 20 more people as new friends. So if you are looking for opportunities for networking and you're not sure, let's say you are in a room full of people and you're not sure how to reach out to them, I would say the best thing is to volunteer. When you volunteer, you meet people automatically. You have conversations automatically. You talk to speakers automatically. So I think that's the best part that we all should be taking with us. And when you come back from these conferences, the experience is just next level. So is with DEF CON. Now, one of the things that Saman and I wanted to bring was one of our board members. The resource is not here. We are still looking for it. Definitely, we'll check it out, like share it with you after this session. One of our BBWIC board members is in Defcon committee, and there are a lot of opportunities among social engineering. So definitely after this session, I and someone will make sure that we'll share out those links for you. If there are still opportunities for certain panels, still opportunities for, let's say, some room host moderators or anything extra that we get to know from our board member, we'll definitely share it with you over the email, because all of you have signed up via Eventbrite. We'll continue to share after event communication with you all. So if there is anything extra that we got to know and all of you can leverage that, we would love to do that. And yeah, that's it from DevCon's part. So the next slide, please. Now, an important part of visiting these conferences is typically accommodation. Vegas, be it San Francisco, be it Vegas, especially the strip area around Vegas where these conferences happen. And before I get into the accommodation part, these conferences, they are happening so close to each other. You just have to take a $10 Uber and you are just hopping from one hotel to another hotel. That's the best thing. And this is my by far experience that I can remember about Hacker Summer Camp last year. I was hopping on and off from BlackHat to Diana to Defcon, and it was not that far. So typically I spent like 1 or 2 day, I think 2 days in BlackHat, 1 day in Diana, and then 1 day in Defcon. I was not able to make it to BSides last year. I'm hoping for this year. However, great experience. If you take a hotel at one place for like around one of these conferences, you are definitely closer to all other conferences too. Now, accommodations is important because many times your organization that you're working for, they reimburse you. If you got a student scholarship, like many of the scholarship links that we have shared today, if you get a student scholarship, let's say for BlackHat or a veteran scholarship or a BlackHat associate program that someone was referring to, so typically that program is still not out for this year. That's why we couldn't bring the resource for you. But if that's out, again, we'll continue to share resources with you. And we would love to emphasize on the fact that if you're interested to join our community, because a lot of things are happening inside the community. We make sure we post things on our social media sites, but inside community, a lot of things are happening because we are a very close knit group. We are like 250 members and we're a close knit group. We continue to share smaller, big opportunities with each other. So if you want to become part of the communities, I would highly recommend join us and let us know how your experience as well is. So coming back to accommodation part, if your company reimburses that, it's completely fine. Now, if you get a scholarship, it gets covered. But let's say that's not the case. You are not getting reimbursed because we are having a heavy year. We see a lot of layoffs. Think economy is not that well. Many companies' budgets are also kind of sealed, closed, you can say. And from that perspective, it's important to find out accommodations which are economically well, because we can not only it's not about affording, but it's about we're spending 4 to 5 days from our own pocket and we want to make sure if we can get some discounts. Why not cut down on certain cost if we are like paying it from our pocket? So for Black Hat, Diana, Defcon, and BSides, each one of them on their website have provided a link for booking a hotel, and each of them are partnered with certain hotels where you can get some specific discount when you are booking. So let's say when you're booking your accommodation, and again, as I'm saying, even if your company is reimbursing, I think it's fine. They have limited budget this year, so we will also have to think in similar ways. So definitely check out these links. Someone have posted that in the chat. She has just posted in the chat. For each of them, this is a link that takes you to the hotel accommodation page. When you go to this page, different hotels, and for example, it typically takes you to a page where you are like book a hotel or book a page. Let me share my screen quickly if possible. Let me do that for you all. I think it would be a good opportunity. So let me share my screen. And am I sharing? Okay. So what do you all see right now? Okay, let me stop sharing. I think I have to. Okay, I think this would be good. So perfect. Now we are good. So now you can see the BlackHat page here. So one of the links that I've shared here is hotel reservations. Can you see on this page? If you look at this hotel reservation part, typically here, you can see BlackHat has designated convention housing partners as the official housing companies for BlackHat and book your hotel now. And you can see there are discounted resort fees and certain amenities are also covered into this. If I click on book now, it takes you to this page where you can put in your check-in and check-out time, number of hotel rooms, and number of guests. And based on that, you can see it's going to provide you a list of hotels that you can choose from different cost. So that is something one can definitely check out for each of these conferences. As I said, someone has posted those links in the chat. I also know that some of you are not able to access the chat. We have created a text PDF for all the links that we are sharing live in this session, so that after this session, we are going to share some after resources. That text PDF would be one of them. So don't worry if you are not able to open the chat or if you are losing track of links that we are sharing. It's absolutely fine. We are going to share that at the end of the session, typically after the session, or we can also share the PDF at the end of the session as well. Both ways, we are happy doing that. Let me stop sharing and let me get back to the slides for a bit. So just one second. As someone stopped sharing, I have to share my own slides. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Perfect. So we were on this page. So typically I shared for BlackHat. Similarly, you can go for Diana, Defcon, and BSides. If you have friends. Now, second thing I would like to mention, what's the best thing about community and what I have done personally? There's no pressure that you have to do the same. However, when you are in these conferences and when you are part of communities, you build some great friendships. This year, when I went to RSA, we booked an Airbnb. It was expensive. If I had booked on my own or maybe by two people, we were like three people. We had accommodation for three. It was a great Airbnb. It was just 12 minutes away from the Moscone Center there in San Francisco. So if you have people, be it colleagues or any friends in the industry, you can book hotel rooms together if you are comfortable. This again really helps you in saving some cost. And if you are definitely a person who doesn't want to share, that's absolutely fine. You can book it on discounted rates. But this is something someone was sharing that as community, we love to attend conferences together. We love to support each other. So we make sure when we have students joining us, they are coming from different parts of the world. In fact, we tend to offer support where we can talk about having shared Airbnbs and sharing hotel suites. So that really helps students and different individuals financially as well. So this gives us opportunity to do that. Yancy, I see you had a hand raised. Do you want to say out something?
No, sorry, that was by mistake. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no worries. I just thought you had something to say. Okay, so moving ahead, someone, next slide. So visa requirements. So some of you who are already in United States, this is not for you. This is for individuals who are planning to come to Hacker Summer Camp but outside United States. Be it Canada, be it Mexico, be it Europe, or be it the eastern part of the world where people plan to come from countries like India, Africa. So for them, first of all, as someone was sharing, some of these conferences, they are virtual, like Black Hat is virtual. I'm not sure about Diana. I have to check out that. Sorry about that. I'm not sure about that. But yes, some of these conferences, they are virtual, so it's fine. You attend them from your home. But I would personally say you lose the experience. Now, when it comes to if you're planning, and this is something I share with my learners, as I'm a Microsoft trainer, I share with my learners and customers as well. I shared with all the members in the BB Foundation as well. that if you plan to attend one conference in a year, let's say you're very busy, but you want to make most of it, Hacker Summer Camp is the place, because different conferences, they happen throughout the year, and these conferences are single. For example, RSA happen 4 days. Then there are other conferences which happen like 4 to 5 days. But Hacker Summer Camp has these four conferences overlapping. You not only get the experience of Vegas, which is definitely great, but you also get the experience of attending four different conferences. So if you are planning to attend from outside the US, this is also a great opportunity to attend four conferences in a row. You can hop on and hop off, as I said, and it's not very tough. The only thing that you have to take care of is the visa requirement. So US has a visa requirement of B1, B2, and it's for anyone who is coming from outside the US. Due to COVID, they had put down some of the conference, like some of the appointments, because of course for obvious reasons of safety and health. However, US has started to open up these B1, B2 visa appointments again. Someone has just shared the link in the chat. I'm just going to share my screen quickly and share this information with you. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I think now it's fine. This page is kind of loading. Sorry about that. Oh, yes, we are good. So if you look at this page, this is a general requirement for anyone who's coming from outside the US. So you definitely need a B1, B2. So B1, B2 is not different. It's a common visa that people apply for. And in order to apply for this particular visa, you will see there is a section here which says how to apply. And there is this overall process where you fill out a DS-160 form. And then there is two things are there. One is you fill out a DS-160 form, and second is there is a portal through which you book your appointments. So you can go through this whole page. There is a waiting time. You can put up a city name here and see what's the waiting time for visa as well. Because if you are planning to come to Hacker Summer Camp this year, I'm not going to say you are late, but still you can check for opportunities. We still have couple of months. I have seen people getting appointments in 3 to 4 weeks now, or in a month now. So if you look for opportunities and applying for the visa now, you can get an appointment, let's say by July or June end. It totally depends. I'm not sure about this because this is a government process. I'm just resharing this with you all because now they are bringing more and more appointments in place. So there are greater chances that you can get an appointment on time. However, my emphasis would be on select a consulate here, wherever you are, in whichever part of the world, and you will see what's the wait amount of time. And especially for this visa, you have to look for B1, B2 visa. Okay. So the cost is also written here, and all other documentation requirements, everything is written here. So you can go and check out this page. And someone, can you please reshare the slides again? I would appreciate that. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. The next one is questions. So we are actually done with the session, and we are happy to take any questions that you all might have. We tried our best to share all possible resources with you all in terms of scholarships and volunteer or any other program. We'll continue to share more with you all. But yes, I would like to open this conversation and discussion. If anybody wants to share any experience from their own past from Hacker Summer Camp, um, please, you can come ahead, you can come off mute, and you can share your experience with anyone, or we are happy to answer any questions. Anyone?
I can share my experience if that's okay.
Absolutely, Yansi. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So, I'll share my profile first, as in I was already in the USA when I first attended. I actually didn't know it was called summer camp back then. It was in 2019. But of course, it was a series of all these conferences back to back. It started with the Black Hat, then Defcon, and then the Dyna Initiative. So being a student at that time, it was a really great experience. First of all, in terms of exploring travel by yourself. Vegas is a beautiful city. Um, I mean, 2 days is enough. 3 days might be okay. 4 days is you can't take it anymore, I guess, in my experience. But nevertheless, it's still fun when you are there for the first time by yourself. So that element is always there. While I was at the Black Hat, I made so many friends, so many networking opportunity. Uh, because at that time, I don't think BBWIC existed at that time, so I didn't know a lot of folks from this community, but I knew some people individually. So I think I just connected one on one. In comparison to the more community at that time, so that feeling was there, like, you don't know a bunch of people, so you have to make a lot more effort by yourself. But since I went through my school, like Purdue University, I knew people from my university as well, so there was still that sort of group with me. um so Black Hat was that. Defcon, of course, is a great hacking experience. You attend a lot of villages. At that time, I got curious about how voting and how happens, and then how people jam the machines. So that was really curious to see, because it's all hands on. It's not theoretical anymore. Even the presentations that they gave at that time is state of the art technology, so you get more updated in a very short amount of time. And so many things go on at the same time. It's totally up to you which sessions you want to attend. So I was at the liberty of choosing what my calling was. And then the Diner initiative, it was really fun because I was invited by somebody to be a reviewer for them. So I think I continued to be a CFP, call for presentations reviewer, since that year till last year. Last year, I voluntarily gave up that position because of other demands. But then it's just an example of how when you meet people, they give you opportunities in return. So as long as you try to make an effort to communicate with people, they'll be so much open, so much ready to talk with you and share so many things going around the conference. And then networking, like if you're here, you need to do that. So that was my overall experience being a student. I know industry people, there are so many experience from industry folks that they go do so many things, but coming from a student's point of view, I think it's equally rewarding and equally different experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yancy. And thank you so much for sharing that, because I know there are a lot of students also joining us today, and they might be they might listen to our recording as well. However, we do have a question in the chat that does the scholarship covers your travel? So do you want to answer that, Yancy?
Um, I so when I went through Purdue, Purdue covered my travel at that time. So I think it depends. Sorry, I missed the beginning part of this presentation, so I don't know how the scholarship looks like for this cohort. But if you're going through a university, of course, the first action you should do is to ask these funds from your university, because at times they have funds for students to travel. And if they are presenting something, then of course it's a really good opportunity and really good, I think it increases your chances of getting that funding. But still, I think it's worth try asking the university first.
Absolutely, because I think that depends on the funding. And one thing is there, many times conference covers that. So when you look at the scholarship details, for example, you're filling out a form. On the top of that, they show you like what are they going to cover? Are they going to cover hotel for you, travel for you, meals for you? So all of that is typically written, and it's very, very conditional. However, when they are giving student scholarship in general, your travel and your accommodation is mostly covered. So when I say mostly, majority of conferences cover that. Many times they just cover your travel, or many times they either just cover your hotel. That also can happen. So either your travel would be covered or your hotel reservation would be covered. So that totally depends on that. And like,
And
yeah.
adding on to the point, like if you get the student scholarship, I was the first hand experience of one of the conference this year. So you have to book everything from your own pocket. And if you do get a scholarship as well, once you attend the conference, then only they reimburse you that amount. So you have to put out that amount from your pocket first, and then you get that reimbursed. Like you send out the paperwork, like whatever they needed as part of those reimbursement, then they would reimburse that amount back. That is really a smooth process. But yeah, first you have to pay and then they'll reimburse you back.
Yes, and that's a very great point someone has shared, because I know M Harris, you have your hand is up, so definitely giving you the next chance to come up. Just I'm just closing this. So like she shared, for one of the conferences, like again, for most of them, you will see you have to pay first and then you would be reimbursed. Like typically what we do for our companies as well, we first go and then we submit the reimbursement. But many times you might get like you don't have to pay at all. They have checked your credentials and they might not ask you to pay. So again, it depends from conference to conference what structure they have and what type of specific things they are covering under scholarship. But yes, scholarship does help a lot, and not only to students but to a majority of professionals. M Harris, because I can see your name as M Harris, I don't know your first name. Please go ahead and share.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Harris, and I am a nurse in cybersecurity. I wanted to first thank you all for having this talk. It's so necessary. In 2019, I decided I was going to go to my first hacker summer camp. I had no idea what I was doing. If I had had your directions, I wouldn't have blundered so many things. And so that year, I was a BlackHat scholar, and so I had to find my own. Transportation, but BlackHat, the program, paid for 2 nights rooms at the New York hotel. So that was awesome. They were very gracious. My whole entry level fee was paid for to get in the conference, which was like $2,500. I had a full registration. It was overwhelmingly wonderful. And I navigated it as best as I could. I did not make it to BSides. That's one of my goals this year, but I did learn about it, Black Hat, the Diana Initiative. I didn't make that until my second year back at Hacker Summer Camp. That is a whole different experience. I think every woman in information security should go to the Diana Initiative. And Defcon, I'm looking forward to going to that this year. I just returned from RSA. It was wonderful, amazing. 40,000 people. It was very expensive to attend. I had to pay for my own airfare and hotel. I wouldn't give anything for the experiences I've had. I just wish that I could have done them a bit smarter, navigation wise. I mean, like on foot, and planned out things better. And in terms of the funding that I spent to have housing or transportation. And that's why what you're doing today is so important. Thank you.
Most welcome, and thank you so much for sharing, because these are the experience we all are looking for, and we are looking for each other to share that, so that sharing is caring. So thank you so much for sharing that. I really echo with you, because when it's your first time, it's good, definitely, but it becomes overwhelming, because overwhelming in two ways. Definitely, it's wonderful, but at the same time, there is so much around you, and you don't know what to pick and what to leave. And so it's just about prioritizing, knowing. I think knowing and continue to know about these things is very, very important, so that you can make most of your experience. Like as you were sharing, you missed B-sides. Even I missed B-sides last year, and this is also my goal, to be on B-sides this year. So I think that's the experience we are trying to share with all of you. Not only we are sharing information about these conferences happening in August, we are also sharing that we will be there. So if you are coming, of course, Saman and I, we have shared our LinkedIn profile, QR codes, etc. We are happy to put them in the chat again for you all. I am more than happy to do that. We would love to connect. We would love to stay in touch. We would love to see you all in our community as well, so that we can continue to build these strong relationships. And wherever we are in these conferences, we can catch up. We can meet, we can hang out together. So someone has also shared her LinkedIn profile. I've also shared the LinkedIn profile again for quick access. And let me see if I can upload. I think there is no option for upload here right now. Let me see if I can copy my document somehow. Or maybe I am going to share the text document that we have with all the links that we have shared today. We are going to email you all. So you will see an after email from us. We will share the text document. We will again share the link to join BBWIC and connect with us, because I know links get lost and it's completely fine. So we'll share that again with you all. And with that, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording.